All right, let's get right to it. We're going to break down how to find the perfect dog trainer for you and your pup, especially for what it means to live and thrive right here in Salt Lake City. I mean, let's be honest, whether you're trying to navigate the farmer's market on a Saturday or just enjoy a sunny afternoon on a patio in the ninth and ninth, having a calm, confident dog with you just makes every single one of those Salt Lake experiences way, way better. So here's how we're going to map this out for you. We'll start with what makes training here in SLC so unique. Then we'll look at your options for finding a great professional. After that, we'll dig into the practical stuff, like costs, and we'll finish up with some of the best local spots to practice all those new skills. Okay, first up, let's talk about training for life in Salt Lake City, because our unique environment really does shape what your dog needs to learn. You know, life with a dog here is more than just a walk around the block, right? You need a dog who can handle a busy foothill trail with hikers and bikers, manage all that energy at our higher altitude, and be cool on a crowded city sidewalk 1 minute and a mountain path the next. These are the real-world skills a good trainer is going to help you build. So keeping all those local challenges in mind, what are your actual training options? Let's take a look at the different formats out there so you can find what's right for you. Most of us fall into one of these buckets. Maybe you're starting from scratch with a brand new puppy. Or maybe you're focused on basic obedience, for those city walks. Perhaps you need help with something more specific like anxiety, or you just want to polish up those polite manners for patio season. Figuring out your main goal is really the first step. And that brings us to the two most common formats. In-home training is awesome for tackling issues that happen right there where you live, like the dog going nuts at the doorbell or grabbing food off the counter. Group classes, on the other hand, are fantastic for teaching your dog how to focus around other dogs and people, but in a controlled setting. So, once you know what format you're looking for, how do you actually choose the right person? This next part is all about what to look for in a great trainer. This is probably the most important takeaway. Modern, effective training is all about building a relationship that's based on trust. You really want to find trainers who use positive reinforcement. That means reward-based methods that are humane and are actually proven to work for the long haul. You can really break down the search into 3 simple steps. First, like we just said, make sure their methods are positive. Second, look for professional credentials. And third, you have to know what questions to ask before you sign on the dotted line, and we'll get to that in just a moment. When you're looking at trainers' websites, you're going to see these acronyms like CPDTKA or KPA-CTP. Don't let them throw you off. Just think of them as a quality check. It's a sign that a trainer is serious about professional ethics and staying up to date on the science of how dogs learn. Okay, which brings us to the practical stuff. Let's talk about the questions you need to ask, the costs involved, and the kind of commitment you're looking at. Just to give you a ballpark number, this is pretty much the typical range for a single private lesson right here in our area. Now, it can definitely vary depending on the trainer's experience, but it's a really helpful starting point for your budget. And if we look at the bigger picture, you can see how the costs line up. It helps to think of this less as an expense and more as an investment in a decade of peaceful walks and being able to take your dog with you. The more intensive options, like a board and train, are a pretty big investment. So seeing these numbers helps you match your goals to what you can realistically budget. So you found a trainer that looks promising and you're ready to have a conversation. What exactly should you be asking them? Here's your cheat sheet. You'll want to confirm their methods and credentials, for sure, but also ask them how they'll tailor the plan for your life here in Salt Lake City. Ask how you'll both track progress, get a very clear picture of all the costs, and find out what your homework will be between your sessions. And for more serious behavior issues, it's always a good idea to ask if they work with vets. Okay, for our final section, let's talk about practice in our parks, because this is all about taking those new skills you've learned and using them in the real world. Now, before you head out, here is a really critical piece of local info. Salt Lake City requires dogs to be on a leash 6 feet or shorter in all public areas. The only exception is if you are inside the fences of a designated off-leash dog park. Knowing this rule is just fundamental to being a responsible dog owner here. Here's a great way to level up your training around town. Start somewhere safe and fenced, like Herman Frank's, to really nail that recall. Once that's solid, you can move to a leashed path like the Jordan River Parkway to work on focus when there are other people and dogs around. Then, for the advanced level, Mill Creek Canyon on an even-numbered day is one of the best spots to legally practice off-leash voice control out on a trail. Ultimately, the goal of all this work is to build a partnership with your dog that just makes life more fun for both of you. A well-trained companion opens up so many more possibilities in this city, from just simple, pleasant walks in your neighborhood to big adventures up in the mountains. We wish you the very best on your training journey together.